If you're 17 years old and you want to impress your teachers and your college friends, then I think the CLA 180 might be the right car for you, because not only that this car looks very exotic and sporty, but this is the type of car that is obviously going to make all of your friends jealous, because this car is jam-packed with a lot of futuristic technology. Today in this video, we'll be talking about the car's exterior, interior features, and the sound performance, also including the driving test. But lastly but not least, we'll also be talking about the specifications about this car, including its pricing. Now let's talk about the specifications and pricing, because this car is powered by a 1.6 litre engine, which boasts about 122 German horses, which is honestly not that much, and it also produces 200 newton meters of torque. And with this 122 horsepower, you can reach 0 to 60 miles per hour in approximately 8.4 seconds, which is honestly not that bad, I suppose. And also I want to mention how featherweight this car is, because it weighs in at a very light 2,000 kilograms. For a car that costs around £28,000, you'd obviously going to get LED lights as standard. Just look at the LED lights, for gosh sake. They look honestly quite nice. It's literally like you're staring into a collection of diamonds. I just love the aesthetic of Mercedes LED headlights. It just looks very beautiful to look at, to be honest. I just love how the design just doesn't feel synthetic. Like, it just clings onto you. It just feels natural, to be honest. It really fits in with the aggressive styling of this car. Although this car is technically not an AMG, it's an AMG line, you'd obviously going to get AMG rims as standard as well. And to be honest, they look average looking. They don't look too bad, I suppose. But hey, at least it fits with the aesthetic of the car. Though this car has a lot of fake vents, which I'm quite against, but for a car at this price tag, like, come on Mercedes, just add in some holes into the bumpers, not fake holes. Like, this is just not looking good. And with a car that is also not very powerful, just take a look at this 505 litre boot space, which, guess what? You can actually open the boot by pressing onto the Mercedes TriStar logo, and bam, it's open. And by the looks of it, it's very spacious. You can fit in a lot of things into that boot. Also, with the CLA 180, there's also another interesting feature. And as a 17-year-old, it still blows my mind that this car has an electronically controlled sunroof. And it includes an electronically controlled panoramic blind, I think it's called, which is honestly quite overkill for this car. So if you love to chill with the lads, then this car is the one. Now let's talk about the interior of this car, because it's fairly similar to the A-Class really, but yeah, it looks very nice. You know. The best thing about this car is that there's no creasing panels. Right now I'm literally applying pressure to the panels right now. It's not producing any sound. Well, a tad bit, but compared to other cars that I've driven, it's not really that bad. So that's good. At least it kind of passed the crease test. So yeah, that's one thing to know, that this car has been built with actual love and quality. So yeah, that's good. That's another good thing about it. Apparently, these vents are illuminated by LEDs, which I can't lie, it looks very sick. This is something that I've never seen in a Mercedes before, really. And for a car at this price point, I'd say it's quite impressive. Let's take a look at the LEDs in more depth. The interior lighting just takes it to a whole new level. It's like you're literally entering into a mansion. Like, I can't lie, the lighting in this car is especially, I don't know, it's quite impressive. It might have a puny engine, but this car aesthetically looks amazing. This car just provides you the proper Mercedes experience. And also, let's take a look at steering wheel, because you have a lot of functions, a lot of basic functions. You have like your telephone controls right there. You can control the main infotainment system right there as well. And you can control the dashboard on the right, which is, I don't know, it's not interesting, but at least that's a useful feature. Another good thing about this car is that the driver's seat and the passenger seat in the front, they have heated seats, whereas the rear passenger seats don't have heated seats, which is a slight disadvantage, to be honest. But at least the rear seats have rear air conditioning, so still your passengers on the back, or your friends I'd say, they're still going to be comfortable nevertheless. If you're an Apple CarPlay fanboy or an Android Auto fanboy, this car also has Apple CarPlay functionality, so you can actually physically hook up your phone onto the car, so you can actually access your phone's app using the infotainment system, which is also awesome. Another good thing about the infotainment system, it still uses Mercedes' brand new MBUX system, which is something that I kind of like, I suppose, because it's responsive, it's less laggy, and also it's touchscreen, so I don't have to fiddle around with the buttons. So yes, it's actually quite nice. And for the guys who are very interested for the rear passenger seats, let's check out if they're comfortable enough. And right now, I could say that it's not too bad. You know, it seems like it's very cramped, but overall there is just enough space to keep you very comfortable during these long journeys. And obviously you have like these net thingies so you can put in your magazines and that, which is kind of nice. And also I just want to mention that this car uses USB-C ports only. Now it's time to move on to the sound test. Now onto the driving test. So the CLA 180, considering that it has a very small engine, this car doesn't really pack that much power. But the engine, I don't know, the engine is like somewhere in between. It's not too powerful. So the car, the acceleration is not that bad. It picks up speed very decently, I suppose. But of course, like the car, apparently, like, if you want the car to actually move at a decent pace, you have to you have to literally put in a lot of throttle. Now, as I'm driving over this bumpy road, the suspension is doing its job very perfectly. And considering that this car has a very low ride height, I'd say it's really not that bad. It just does its job, you know, quite decently, I suppose. It, you know, it absorbs the shocks on the road perfectly. Like, at least your car wouldn't experience like some sort of earthquake, I suppose. But yes, I can definitely certify that the suspension in this car is somewhere in between. But since this engine has a very small displacement, the fuel economy is very impressive. But then as we ascend the hill, we get somewhere around 20 to 12 miles per gallon. Oh, that's good. This car is very nice with its fuel economy. So, what will the conclusion be? So if you're a teenager who obviously loves to show off and loves to impress their friends, then this one-of-a-kind Mercedes could be for you, because this car is jam-packed with a lot of technological features. But also, I want to warn you that the engine is kind of underpowered. But hey, at least the car really does its job, because you're going to get great fuel efficiency, and you'd be expecting to average out somewhere around 50 miles per gallon in one trip, which is honestly not bad for a car like this. So yes, this car is very cheap to operate and to run, and I would highly recommend to any 17-year-old to buy this car, because not only that it's very fuel efficient, but it has a lot of features that you're obviously going to be very grateful for. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and most importantly, that retractable sunroof. And don't forget that interior lighting that I've just previously mentioned, because that's the icing on the cake for this car. So yes, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell so you can be notified for brand new videos.